News now at 11.
BLM, go home!
The recent showdown near the Bundy Ranch in Bunkerville is something we all watched unfold. And tonight, Metro police officers who are on the front lines are telling us they feared for their lives. Thanks for joining us. At least some of the militia members who pointed weapons at police officers during the confrontation may have wanted a violent outcome and tried to incite one.
In exclusive interviews with the 8 News Now I-team, officers who were on the scene shared their thoughts and fears, and they told George Knapp it's not over.
The guys with these rifles and guns like that, keep them calm, okay? Because we're not going to cause any problems, all right?
Metro Assistant Sheriff Joe Lombardo's top priority was to prevent a spark that might set off a bloody firefight.
There was a possibility of somebody just having an accidental discharge causing a bloodbath. And so there was, because the individuals that were showing up, the militia, quote unquote, were armed to the teeth.
On one side, armed federal rangers and agents. On the other, a huge crowd of angry militia members. And in the middle, 30 Metro officers, exposed and vulnerable, aware that if shooting began, some of them would die.
When you're standing up there going, well, just hope it doesn't hurt, you know, when it comes, that it's quick. And I mean, it was for real for us. It was that real.
You thought you might die?
Yeah.
Sheriff Doug Gillespie had been negotiating behind the scenes with rancher Cliven Bundy for a couple of years. On the morning of the big showdown, he and Joe Lombardo drove to Bunkerville to let Bundy know that a deal had been reached with BLM to suspend the roundup of Bundy's cattle. Bundy, who's grown accustomed to media attention over the past few months, said he would only talk to Gillespie on stage in front of his crowd. Once there, he ordered the sheriff to go out and disarm every Fed he could find.
We want those arms delivered right here under these flags in 1 hour. I
mean, the hair was up on the back of my neck. There was the so-called militia surrounding the stage, surrounding myself and Assistant Sheriff McMahill and Under Sheriff Dixon. We were put in a position of disadvantage. There was a lot of firepower out there, and it made me nervous. And anything could have happened.
Gillespie and Lombardo say they offered to provide Bundy with legal counsel, free. He turned it down and later urged the crowd to go after his cattle.
Mr. Bundy incited, in my personal opinion, incited the crowd.
Some of them didn't need much to get riled. Their hostility toward government was on full display. A few equate the BLM with Nazis.
That bunch of whatever, I guess the SS squad or something to do with Hitler, shouldn't have them guns in here aimed at we the people.
They were equally hostile to journalists covering the story. Pistol-packing militiamen have blocked 8 News Now's access to public roads.
You're trying to come in here and start trouble, and you're standing with that camera.
Some poured lighter fluid around our news vehicle. A few Oath Keepers say they were told the White House ordered a drone missile strike on the Bundy camp.
You can walk in and say you're sorry, and you're lucky that you're not getting shot in the back.
In an atmosphere this hostile and paranoid, guns pointed at police became the norm.
You know, at some point you have to draw a line in the sand, as you will, and I guess this is it.
They're armed. They have an agenda, and they're committed. They're committed to whatever they believe in, and there's no backing down. When you got a group of people, and then, you know, again, 1 or 2 of them would never probably have done what they did, pointed weapons at us. But when you got 300 or 400 and you can be anonymous in a crowd, it's easy to just get caught up in that.
We're talking about cattle, not human beings.
Joe Lombardo confirms that Metro developed a lot of intelligence about militia members who were present. Those who aimed their guns at officers will be dealt with, he says.
Yes, there's going to be consequences. Definitely, I mean, that's unacceptable behavior. If we let it go, it would continue into the future.
George Knapp, 8 News Now.
Law enforcement sources told us that federal officials are preparing to move against Cliven Bundy, but that they might wait months until things die down before making their move. Metro Police could take separate action in response to the provocations they experienced in Bunkerville and may be working to identify particular suspects.